shit. Had a little squirt.
Squirter.
Mark's happy to be day drinking again. He couldn't wait to come back on the show.
Hey, like 2 episodes in a row here.
So he's keeping it NA.
That's what he says for the public, but
We
he's
all
got to
know.
cover his ass.
It's like me.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I'm starting out with a triple dry hop West Coast IPA. This one's from Brewhouse because our favorite Brewhouse whore isn't here tonight, and I knew he'd be drinking it, so wanted to do it in his honor. Paul. This one's called Vendedor de Ilusiones. I'll translate it for you. It's a seller of magic tricks or illusions. And not sure what
Seller
hops are in
like-
it.
Seller like sales or seller like basement?
Oh, no, yeah, like someone that sells illusions. Pretty cool can.
Basement would be weird.
It's awesome.
And it's in collaboration with Ghost Town Brewing and Fort George Brewery, which are both in Portland. So it's a 3-way. Love you a good
Three-way,
3-way. Yeah.
Two chicks at the same time.
All right, who's up next? Jimmy, what are you drinking?
Okay. I'll keep it simple. I got the Japan Asahi, one of the major brands here. I'm going with zero
Swapped out
today.
the can, huh? Oldest trick in the
Hey,
book.
you're going to great lengths to hide this.
Yeah. A little magic trick here. But yeah, it's a 0% NA. Simple.
Dude.
Nice. How's it tasting?
It's about what you think an NA would taste like.
Yeah.
Like it's not I think it's got
Lots of grains.
3 types of hops in it, all domestic hops here in Japan. No special additives, no sugar.
How's the
Zero
weather
calorie.
over there right now?
Today a little overcast, but it's been pretty nice. Mid 60s.
Oh, that is nice. It's been pretty hot here, so.
It's been really nice. So
All right, I'll go next. Nothing special yet. I gotta start off slow because I know y'all have been here till like midnight, and it's like 5:30 in the evening here. So, drinking an Avery White Rascal. It's just a 5.6 Belgian white ale. Nothing too special, but tastes good. Think like Blue Moon, but actually good.
Yeah. I've seen you drink many of those.
Well, this isn't the Reverend, but I drink a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's on
Is that
tap.
from the same brewery?
Same brewery, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they out your way? I don't know that one.
Oh, they're in like Boulder, so just like 6 hours here from here.
So I got a Fidens. I just picked this one up today, and it is Subculture. I don't recall having this one before, but it's got a mix of Galaxy and a couple other hops.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a new release, but I'd never had it before.
Yeah, it's why it struck me. But it's like their old can style too. So, but it's really nice
Double,
so far.
triple.
It's a double. It's 8.2%. Double IPA.
Nice.
But it's pretty green, but it's good.
All right, Redford, what you got, dude?
Oh, I've got another Brewhouse.
Nice.
It's a, what is that, Senor?
Uh-huh.
Senora Tostada. This one is amazing. So this is a double mash double dry hop hazy. I got it on their anniversary, and I mean, it's one of my favorites.
And it's a quadruple IPA.
Yeah, it's a quad. So I went back a few weeks later and sat at the bar at Brewhouse. The bartender said that they were the first to do a double mash, which I'm not sure if that's valid or not, but I mean, it's definitely, the mouthfeel on it is amazing. I don't know what hops are in this, but because it doesn't say on here, I want to say Citra is for sure part of it, but I'd have to look on maybe Untapped. But
We drank that one over the weekend in the desert. It was nice.
yeah, 12.1%. It's a heater.
I'll put hair on your gumdrops.
It's not even 5 o'clock there, Redfern.
I know. I'm gonna
It's gonna be
babysit.
it's gonna be an awesome day for you tomorrow, buddy.
Damn, hold that up again. That looks nice.
Yeah. I want to
Creamy.
babysit
Like a-
it for sure.
It's like a
Cake batter.
pineapple milkshake.
It's so good. My wife is a little jealous that I'm drinking this right now. I haven't.
Oh, you
been
didn't
able
pour
to,
a little
like,
bit for
share-
her?
Well, I was going to, but you know the whole. Yeah.
For
We have another
aesthetics
can.
purposes. That one has Citra, Rawaka, and Nelson and Rakow. Yeah, super good hot bill.
The last one I'm not familiar with.
Which one?
What was the last
Rakow.
one?
Rakow. That's another one from New Zealand.
Cool.
I'm not super familiar with it. Like I couldn't describe it to you, but Nelson and Rawaka are really similar. Like guava or like white wine, grape flavor. Those ones are super good.
I dig it.
Does it taste pretty boozy, or is it pretty well hidden?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
very
even
well
more
hidden.
dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was super smooth.
yeah.
It's great.
I wish I got more of these, quite honestly. They were like, I mean, they were pricey. They were the pricier of the anniversary beers.
I think they were $10 a can.
Wow.
Yeah, typically they're quadruples and quintuples are like that.
Yeah.
All right, Mikey.
Sierra Nevada Trail Pass Hazy IPA coming in at less than 0.5% alcohol by volume. So I'll be taking it easy on this one tonight. It's going to catch up to me real fast. It's actually probably the best one out of this pack because I buy a 12 pack and I only really drink these for the show. And I've had all the other ones except for this one. So this one's actually
Is it
fairly
assortment
decent.
of NA stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's cool.
So these have been like sitting down in my basement refrigerator since we last recorded, which was like, I don't know, whatever, 3-4 weeks ago.
So is
So,
Trail Pass like the
pretty good.
NA series by Sierra Nevada, and then they have different versions?
Yep. Yeah, they got a hazy, kind of a regular one. I forgot what the other ones are, but they've got like a white IPA too, I think. I think that's theirs. So this one's pretty good.
Do you still think Go Brewing is the best for non-alcoholic?
I do, yeah. I just can't get them locally, so I got to order them and ship them in and all that. But yeah, I still
Do
think
they
they're
have free
best.
shipping or?
Don't believe so. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've ordered them, but
Yeah.
it's not bad. Like whatever the shipping is isn't bad. I mean, and you get them fairly quick. I actually probably would have gotten them because I follow them on Instagram and they've had some new ones coming out that look pretty decent. But we threw this episode together pretty quick, so didn't have time to get it.
Yeah, they've been advertising one that looked pretty tasty. I was thinking of giving it a shot, but I went online and it was already sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. This one's really actually not bad though. Pleasantly surprised.
Jimmy needs a non-alcoholic beer to hold him over on the drive home from work.
Yeah.
Start getting the taste
No,
on his
no,
lips.
it's just before so before I go to bed.
On the drive to work.
I will. You guys got a bunch of images together, so gonna have to get
It's gonna be
started.
awesome.
We're gonna make it through these. So Mark, I don't know if you'll know this photographer's full name. It just says Teru on their Instagram account, but since they're in Japan, I thought you might know of him.
Yeah, I think I do.
Photo Teru on Instagram.
Yeah, I know him.
What's his full name?
I don't know his first name. I don't. The thing about Japan, what they do is they don't like to put their names on their accounts. So they'll use some kind of obscure name. I ran into him a few times with Hoshino. I'm not sure where he lives, but He's a younger guy. I think he has taken a few workshops with Hoshino.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because I do all the social media for NLPA, and like when we try to share their images, I'm trying to find who they are, and it's like really difficult.
So if you'll notice, you'll follow, look at their stories. They'll post pictures of themselves out with their friends, and they'll, if it's your account, they'll like my picture would be visible, but they'll black out all their other friends' pictures. You know, why did you take the picture with them?
Yeah.
But they're very
Sure.
private. They don't like to. They're big on privacy here. You don't share other people's images or face or name without getting permission.
Yeah, don't
I
ask me
must
how I
love this
know.
then.
Don't ask me how I know, but on Tinder, the girls like don't show their faces either. They just post like random photos of like food or so. It's a gamble.
Yeah, it is a gamble.
Roll
I
of
like
the dice.
sushi. That looks good.
Take that so many different directions. Okay.
Well, anyways,
Really good.
I saw this image a while ago and I set it aside because it's super beautiful, obviously, but the composition is really cool. How you have this like larger tree closer to the camera, kind of swooping in a certain way, and then those other like four trees on the left, giving it nice counterbalance, and then just like the texture filling the entire scene is super awesome. Yeah, looks. I'm excited to go there in the fall and photograph stuff like this, hopefully. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
gets me pumped.
It's a pretty bold composition. I mean, a lot of people would shy away from putting such a large object on one side of the image, but the way they've counterbalanced it with those trees on the other side is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Works really well. And then you have that little tiny tree that kind of swoops up in the bottom left
Yeah.
corner that I think kind of helps out a lot.
Yeah, and some visual weight for sure.
The spacing is perfect too. Like the space on the left and the right of the largest tree, and then the left side too.
Yeah.
Like there's nice spacing between most of the trees. It's really well organized.
Yeah.
Love the color distribution too throughout the
Yeah,
scene.
very colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like soft blue tone in the background is really nice, and it's super close to the tree trunks, like almost the same tone, so it ties in really well. There's just enough separation.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
lot of the scenes. You'll see a lot of scenes like this in the fall, Eric, that are, and you know, because of the terrain. I'm sure there's another mountain just on the other side, and he's on the other side of a valley.
Yeah, so there's like nice
Like
shade.
a rock. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice consistent shade. It probably falls off just behind this scene here. Pretty steep.
Nice.
That's really gorgeous.
Do you have a good idea where this is? Do you recognize this?
I'm gonna guess this is probably somewhere around Yachiho, or could be around Shigakogen.
Because I don't remember seeing very many like mossy birch trees like this. There's more like beech tree stuff, but or are
Yeah,
these
we-
beech
we-
trees?
These are beach.
Like deciduous beech? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like beach.
We couldn't get to, you know, we talked about this last time I was on. We couldn't get to a lot of places because of the snow. So there are a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
wouldn't
areas-
take me to the good stuff. Kept saying the roads were closed and making
That
all
was
these
the way.
excuses.
That's how we get you back.
Sweet image. I like it.
This one's pretty crazy. I hadn't seen this anywhere.
That
Yeah.
is crazy.
So I selected this one. Honestly don't know a lot about Thomas, but I like saved this image when he posted it on Instagram. So I did a little deep dive on his a very short deep dive, I guess. Not
Did
so
some
deep
stalking?
dive on his website. Yeah,
The Redfern special.
exactly. I gave him the Redfern special. When I was told this morning I would be on this. So so he lives in northern Norway. I'd assume maybe he knows like Errol and
Stian.
yeah, Stian, thank you. But it says that he said that he's a former freelance photographer and journalist. When I was looking at his website, he's got mostly nature work, but he has some like other stuff that I guess you would call photojournalism on his website. Pretty cool to like browse through some of his stuff. He's got like a mixture of black and white and color stuff, but I never saw this image on his website. So I don't know if like he's updated it with newer stuff or not, but this is kind of one of those images that like makes me imagine something else, right? Which is kind of a theme I tend to find in other people's work that I admire. And so, you know, for me, I see like this field, right, where this tree is growing in the middle and maybe those are rocks and
Yeah.
the edges of the forest are kind of encroaching in. I like Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this looked like before the processing, but I'd imagine there's a pretty decent vignette on it, maybe, because I see some shadow and stuff, and I think it's like tastefully done, which I really like because it brings that like idea home. So yeah, I really like this image, and yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of shadows. I'm wondering if there isn't something big casting a shadow on it.
Yeah.
Maybe is naturally lit that way. Because there's definitely a lot of shadow there. See, also kind of an interesting color palette. I see a lot of people working with these, predominantly like, earth and sort of tones, which is kind of nice, kind of refreshing.
At first, I thought it was underwater, but the more I looked at it, I was like, maybe not. It kind of reminded me of a Jennifer Renwick shot initially, because she does a lot of those like underwater scenes. So yeah, I think it's actually on top of a rock, not underwater, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
The
because of
scale
this.
is really cool.
Exactly. Like because of the subject matter, I can tell it's small, but it doesn't look or feel small.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tree is throwing it.
Like those, what are those little things called?
Limpets?
Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know those are small, like the size of a quarter maybe, but yeah, it totally feels like a larger scene, which is super cool. He must have like really focus stacked it to have that much depth in such a close up scene.
That's what I was gonna say because, like the angle, there's an angle to it, so like it must be a really extreme focus stack. Because I mean, it's probably like 100 images or something.
In that case, it's definitely not underwater.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I don't think they
Right.
make,
Water's moving.
Preceding title area.
you'd need a pretty crazy tripod to pull stuff off like that.
Well,
a big
plus if it
anchor
was
on it,
underwater,
like-
you wouldn't get those shadows like that. There'd
Yeah.
be some, unless the water was completely still, I guess.
It'd be like diffracted or
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
the seaweed looks dried up too.
Yeah, it's not super glossy.
That's one of those scenes like 99 out of 100 photographers would walk right by that.
Yeah, like I'd probably see it, but none of you guys would.
Yep.
Ugh.
But you wouldn't
Here we
shoot it.
go.
You wouldn't shoot it because it's not good enough for you.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's an engaging image.
It is. What does Mark Davis think about it? That's what I want to know.
No, I mean, when I look at it, I mean, it's one of those, like you said, that, this could be, a big, if I look at it, I know it's obviously seashells, but it looks like it could be a big scene as well with that tree in the middle. That's what I like about it.
That's what we said, dude.
Well, I just copied what you said. I wrote it down.
That's smart.
He's taking notes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I deliberately, well, I don't know who else is going to be on the show, but I deliberately chose photographers that neither Eric nor Jim, or you, Max, I knew you were going to be on the show, Matt Payne, were following. So hopefully introducing some new people here. But this guy, I don't know how to, I guess Leonard Olson, great body of work, excellent photographer. Very subtle scenes. He works with light really well, and for me, like this scene just really it kind of had a lot of feeling to it, right? Like it just feels like that cold winter morning when that very first light hits. Like when I go skinning and I go up, to the top of the mountain before the sun rises, and you come down and you see scenes like this all the time, and it's just a really cool thing to see and to witness in person. And he did such a great job at capturing that exact kind of feeling and moment with the light just hitting this tree. So yeah, so this image is all about the light. I think he did a great job balancing the light and the shadows, keeping some detail there, not blowing out the highlights. So kind of a little bit of a tricky scene to shoot, I would imagine. But yeah, just a lot of feeling in this. Really enjoyed the image and all of his work.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out because I hadn't heard of him. But the light just hitting that center tree is interesting. Like, why isn't it hitting in the rest of the scene? And nice isolation.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably coming through a gap in the mountain. I imagine it's alpine environment. So.
Or like through other trees, maybe. If it's like a thick forest.
Yeah.
Dappled light.
Where'd you say they're from?
I want to say he's from Norway. Let me check
Norway?
real quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna
I'm pretty
say
sure.
it looks like something you would see out here. Similar tree. I don't know if that's like a fir or whatever, but yeah, that's cool.
Sweden.
Yeah, just how that light's isolated on that one tree is pretty unique.
Yeah, I think Eric, you already said it, but the subject isolation and the minimalism, I think is really nice. And then once again, it's one of those scenes that I think a lot of people would just try to shoot wide or, try to get too much into the scene. And by isolating into that single tree, you have a very nice, portrait.
What would
Yeah,
you
for
rate
sure.
this one if it was submitted to the Natural Landscape Awards?
The Frozen Worlds category.
For prejudging, I'd probably give this a 4.
Is that out of 5?
Yeah.
That's
so
generous.
it'd make it to the finals.
Nice.
Well, I mean to second round of judging.
So Leonard, you heard it here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get it in while you can.
Yeah, dude.
Anything less, you gotta be mad now.
Yeah, you'll win the Frozen World category.
It's
There you go.
It's Matt's fault if you don't make it to the final.
He's a liar. Disingenuous.
Hey, I'm only one voice out of many.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
We know you're behind it all.
Blame it on everybody else.
Puppet Master.
Ooh, that's nice too.
This one's super nice.
Yeah. So this is another one that I didn't see any of you guys following. I kind of chose this one. This one just really stood out to me because I really like the kind of near and far perspective, and the kind of shapes that get that arching branches in the foreground, contrasted against those vertical reeds in the water, and then kind of rounded shapes of the lily pads. I don't know. It's just very striking image. One of those ones that's kind of like I look at and I'm like really drawn to it, but it's a little hard for me to say precisely what it is. That's so engaging to me. But when you look at the rest of his work, his body of work really works well as a collection. Like, I mean, his images. That's not to say they don't stand well on their own, but like when you scroll through his Instagram page, he's got a very consistent style that's really nice, and I definitely have enjoyed seeing his work. Since I've been following him for the past 6 or 8 months.
There's really a lot going on here. Like he's combined a lot of things in this scene, because you could easily make a scene of just the lily pads on the water or just the grass on the water or just the trees, but it's done in a really cohesive way and it feels super organic too. Like the way the composition isn't so contrived and like on the nose. It's has like a certain essence of offness to it, but
Right.
it still works really well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got a little bit of wabi sabi going on. Like there's some imperfections, but the way those imperfections work together makes it actually really cohesive, like Eric said. And I think for me, the layers of the trees, the reeds, and then the lily pads, like having those offset each other like that, I think that's really nice. Like those patterns that are different but repeating. It's nice.
Yeah.
And then the color story is pretty nice too. That soft, barely blue
Yeah.
with the green and the red. I think that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
those,
red green is always reminds me of like holidays and stuff. So you think it's like a winter thing, but it's throwing you by the seasonality of it.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Color palette's really good. I like those lily pads, kind of like you said, layering the reeds of the lily pads. But he took a risk, I feel like, and it's well organized.
All right.
Y'all need to shut the fuck up. Talking
Yeah.
too much.
That's
it's
the only
awesome.
reason you let Bowman on here is to just
Fill the
say
space.
stupid shit.
Dude,
It's quiet.
so fucking money. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
That guy's elusive. I'm never graced with his presence on this show.
Well, you'll meet him in person next week.
Oh, I met him. Yeah, I've met him.
Oh yeah, you met him at Brewhouse for there's photos of you in a car with him.
Yeah, he kidnapped me. Yep.
Yeah, the trunk.
That's right.
We'll do that.
I was guarding.
This is one from Garrett Hess. He shared a few days
Jimmy,
ago.
don't cut off the conversation.
I'm totally cutting it off.
Here we go.
It's involving Paul, so I'm trying to
Here we go.
bring it back in.
So fucking money.
Dude. So I guess a pothole never looked so good. But when I saw this, like the texture of that water is just like awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
Viscous.
Again, like throwing you with the scale. He's like, wait, like it. You weren't sure, like like that limpet photo with the seaweed. It's just like it's messing with your head a bit at first.
I
thought
love the
saw-
processing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I love the metallic processing. It's very, like, to me, it almost looks like a saw blade or something.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I saw him. I follow him on social media, and I saw he was surprised that this photo was gotten traction that it did, and I don't know why. I mean, it's like Matt said, it looks like a saw blade, but it's how it's kind of spiraling out. Could be like a galaxy with stars. I mean, it's wild.
Dude, Garrett, dude, he's got a hell of an eye. I mean, his work is just like the simplest of scenes and the things that he sees, and what he turns into like fantastic photos is like, pretty remarkable. He was one of the first people we featured, like way back on our first or second episode.
That's right.
I think so.
I chose one of his images, but yeah, his work is always great, and it's got a very unique feel to it.
Is he from the East Coast?
Yeah, he's from Erie, Pennsylvania, I think, somewhere out there.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
he's living now for sure. Yeah.
Jimmy knows his address.
He's one of those sleepers, too. He has 1,700 followers, which is criminal.
Yeah.
Well, now he's going to blow up for sure. I'm sure he got 1,600 from the first time we featured him, and now he's going to get another 2,000 at least.
He'll double up.
He said it was a hole in a frozen pond, and that the air was like bubbling up. I saw when he posted this one, and it it blew my mind.
When it looks like there must have been some wind too blowing it around, and you did like a long exposure to get those rings, maybe, or are those like ripples from like a?
It was creating
from
ripples,
bubbling.
yeah, bubbling. From
That's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah, like because it does almost look like a long exposure. Like if you look at the edges of the water, it's got that ultra long exposure, but there's no way you'd be able to get those rings like that with a long exposure unless you did some kind of weird blending. But
yeah, because it has those little bubbles on top of it. Those would be blurred too.
And I mean, he said it was a swamp, so I think it makes sense. All the other like texture around it.
yeah,
Pond scum shit.
Yeah, which is wild, and I mean, this is super unique.
At some point, he's going to admit it's just a pothole in his driveway.
nothing wrong with that.
It's all right. Been known to shoot pollen on the driveway.
Nice work.
Good stuff.
That's
We should
sick.
get him
Awesome
on.
job, Garrett.
Yeah, we will at some point. We just need to organize ourselves better so we're not asking people the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gave us a month set up on this one.
This is fucking insane.
What?
I have no
the hell
idea
is
what's
that?
going on here.
What the hell?
Are those penguins?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then what's the thing in the top left, like with the eyeball?
It's like it's obviously it's got to be some kind of multiple exposure. But Jesus.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a multiple exposure. When I saw this image the first time, I was like, that's really interesting.
That's mind-blowing.
Super creative. I just love all the patterns, but then the use of the big penguin over the smaller ones. Mm-hmm. And it's wildlife, which, I don't think we do a ton of wildlife on here, but I don't know. And it's probably like South Georgia. It's probably where Rachel shot this. But I don't know, man. Like, I think it's just a super, super creative shot, the way they did it.
God dang.
I thought it was a macro shot at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, I love it. But
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
yeah, I think like maybe she masked out the white on it's like a portrait of a penguin, and she masked out the white, and then the crowd of penguins is filling it in.
Right.
I just don't even know how you'd think of that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Super creative.
Yeah, awesome concept.
Just,
I'm like blown away by
just-
this. Like I
I
could
never
stare at
would have
this
thought
photo
of
for
that.
hours.
Right? I'm looking at her
oh my
other
God.
stuff. She's
So good.
She's got some great work.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Wow, big into it. Love it.
Really nice. It's really cool when people take like wildlife photography and then make it creative. There's some really interesting stuff that's out there.
Yeah, because 99% of it are like, straight on shots of
Yeah.
animals.
It's more about the moment,
which is fine. I
rather
mean,
than,
it's
like,
not easy to do. Yeah, exactly.
artistry.
No, right. Yeah. Yeah. Super hard. But then to take it to that artistry level is really.
Is most of her work like this?
No,
No, not that abstract. It's same subject matter, or similar subject matter. But I didn't see. I just did a quick scroll of her Instagram, and it's more kind of organic stuff. She doesn't have a lot on Instagram.
Yeah.
pretty cool though. When
Yeah,
I
for sure.
saw this, I was like, oh, that's yeah. I've never seen anything quite like that before. I've seen king penguins in South Georgia, but not like this.
I know. It's like you're going to be looking at them in a very different way now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This one I reshared a few days ago, like the day he posted it, because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I got
Just
it queued up for that. Yeah, so I
So,
love
like-
this one. Oh, good.
Looking straight down on a pond edge or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just those splotches of white in the background are.
Yeah, the cloud reflections are perfect.
Yeah.
For me, that shadow of like the flowers really gives it that depth that you normally wouldn't. I feel like I wouldn't normally see when I'm shooting the edge of a pond or river or whatever. This
Yeah,
kind
they're coming
stuff
out of the
like that.
water too, because some of the leaves are submerged partially.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
not just the bank.
Yeah, it's like the flowers are out of the water, but a lot of the leaves are underwater.
Man, I love Elvis's work.
Yeah.
It's cool how the water twisted the shapes of the leaves. It gave it that wavy vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has really nice flow and balance to it. The flowers kind of going everywhere, but ultimately being cohesive.
What I like about Elvis's stuff is like he does a ton of double exposure stuff, but a lot of times you can't tell that it's a double exposure. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, and then he'll do shit like this that I'm 99% sure is a single exposure, but it feels like
Yes.
double exposure.
It may not be. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because he does
Yeah.
it so well.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the
Yeah,
mark
for
if
sure.
it's not obvious.
Yeah.
I've never seen a like take on flowers like this ever. Have you guys?
Not that I can think of, no. That's why
No.
it stood out to me.
Yeah.
It was like so simple yet so creative.
Right.
Well, and that split 50-50 comp is pretty bold, but I think it works super well.
Yeah, that's a good point because supposedly that's a rule.
Well, I mean, I think most people would be like, oh, I have
60-40.
to. Yeah, exactly.
Nah, it's perfect.
You got to get him on the show, Matt.
I've talked to him a few times about it. I think he's one of those that's kind of worried about the language barrier.
He's in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. I went to his website. I didn't realize he's done some like workshops with Theo Bosboom.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Like he taught them with him or he took workshops from Theo?
No, he like co-led, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's like 2019, 2021, that sort of time frame.
Moving around.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy to chat to as well. Very humble.
Nice to have him back on.
This is one of those ones that's very obviously a multiple exposure. But yeah, anyway,
Or just camera blur, right? Motion blur, like held it in one place and then moved it.
well,
Yeah,
I
I see
don't
it.
know. Well,
The
but
blur.
those other leaves are so static, which is what I love about the image. Is it's got those leaves that are very colorful and static, kind of superimposed or overlaid by the motion, the ICM. So it's probably both, but it just kind of gives it that, I don't know, almost like confetti sort of feeling. It's just a very colorful image that was, I thought, very creative and really just kind of caught my eye. I've been in a very drawn to abstract stuff lately, so it's just kind of a great image. And most of her work is fairly similar to this.
I love
Yes.
how it has like such nice form, despite it being
Yeah.
very soft and kind of nebulous.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's multiple exposure ICM. Something you can't do with a Sony camera, in camera, which always annoys me. Like you talk to people who are Sony ambassadors, and they're like, "Why would you even want that?" And it's like you obviously don't look at very much work.
So how does it prevent you from doing that?
I mean, you
Oh,
could
you
do
just
it in
can't do-
post. You just can't see
Oh.
it. You can't.
Yeah, you just can't do double exposures in camera. Yeah.
Right, like you don't see the end result of your
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. I thought you meant like strictly like combining an exposure with an ICM exposure. I was like, how would it prevent you from?
Yeah, the
Anyways.
difference is like in a Canon or Nikon, you could do this
Right.
Do it
in camera and you'll see it, whereas in Sony you just see the two files.
And
Yeah, it kind of makes it hard to get the creative juices flowing.
If I remember correctly, I think she said she did do this in camera in her description of it. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Never mind. She didn't say anything about it.
Could it not be like a really long exposure? You're just holding it there for a second and then like moving it.
That's what I thought it could be.
I feel like there'd be like streaks coming
Everything
out
would
of
be
the
streaked
leaves
out.
themselves.
Unless
I mean,
it's on a
especially-
tripod, right?
If you look at the upper left corner, though, like those leaves are.
Yeah, like some
Pretty,
stuff
like,
doesn't have the streaks overlaid.
True.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah. I have to amend what I said earlier. So yes, it was he took the the workshops with
Theo.
Yeah, my bad.
Wow, such a blunder.
I told you it wasn't a very deep dive I did this
Not
morning.
not having you back on, man. You're gonna.
Well,
ruin our
you're
reputations. People hold us in such high esteem. We can't afford to.
I feel like he could co-lead one though. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
that
for
good.
sure.
Speaking of high esteem, Eric, by the way, you spelled her name wrong.
That's okay. This isn't the final version.
It's one N, two E's.
Okay. Well,
For the record,
you just couldn't help but take a dig.
I'm just saying, you're teeing off on that here.
appreciate that. Appreciate.
I'm on
that.
Sam. I'm on deck though, so we're saying about me.
Damn right.
Mark's lubing up over there.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm waiting.
So
Wow.
Crazy.
I found this image because I was in a doctor's office waiting to get a tube removed from my stomach that was draining fluid left over from my appendix
I
surgery.
didn't know they were treating syphilis that way. It's new.
So there was a Nat Geo magazine, you know, as always, like on the table, and I picked it up and I was like, I saw this image in there. I was like, damn. And I'd never heard of Alex Mustard before, but I was like, this is a sick image. I got to find it online and bookmark it for the show. Cause, yeah, it's just like super unique subject matter. The color palette is awesome. The blue and the orange. And then those two little fish, like on top of the coral stuff, like, I guess there's a third one too, but yeah, it's just, thought it was super cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the color.
That color palette's wild.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's so like otherworldly, and then you see the fish. And, oh shit! Okay, that's underwater.
Just a weird cluster of shapes too, you know? It's crazy.
Got
Dendritic patterns there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Using that word
Sizes.
again. Dendritic
I like-
intentionality.
Yeah, there.
That's a cool band name.
Or what was dimensionality? That's what it was.
Dendritic dimensionality.
Yeah.
I like the structure, like the spacing between all the little veins of orange. That's crazy photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
Super
picked
good,
it,
though.
boys.
Yeah, without the fish, you scratch your head for a bit.
I mean, that's the funny thing about a photo like this. It would work. It would work without the fish, but
Yeah.
the fish do add a little bit of context.
I like the fact that the fish are like kind of blend in with whatever those
Oh, it's
branch structures are, because then you
it's
discover
critical.
them, right? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they're hiding.
Yeah, they're like these little hidden nuggets there.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice them until I was creating the slideshow for this episode and I saw it larger. So I was like, oh, there's another little nugget in there.
I just found the third fish.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fish,
There's 5 fish.
No, there's not. Is there?
Shut up.
I only see 3.
I made you look though.
Okay.
There's triple jasper with Rawaka, one of my favorites that Fidens does. I haven't tried this batch, but it's just Citra and Rawaka, 10% triple IPA. Thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome. That one is like, it's gonna blow your head.
I think I got
Which
one
one?
of those from you, Jimmy, a while back. That one was amazing.
I told you not to send him the good stuff, Jimmy.
I didn't. It was from 2022.
Yeah, of course he thinks it's amazing compared to what he
He
usually
told me
has,
it was
but-
Eric. It was part of Eric's shipment. He just carved out a little.
Boxes are a little light.
Damn, it is tasting good. This thing fucks.
You're talking about the beer or the photo?
Yeah, right.
Both. So this is an underwater photo, I assume.
Did the fish clue you into that, or
Just a wild guess, you know? Intuition.
I mean, they could be birds?
Nothing's glazed over with shimmering water though, so I don't know.
Probably just his fish tank at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it could be any kind of liquid, really.
Yeah, it's this one that I submitted in. So Endro has some pretty crazy images from Iceland, aerial images, in Greenland as well, if I recall. Yeah, this one just really caught me. Just that contrast between, you know, just what is suggesting spring, but also just like brutal ice, and the flow of it all is just really cool.
Yeah, I love how you have, I mean, I have a rough idea that this is probably a massive amount of earth that we're looking at.
Yeah, it's like a
But maybe
volcanic
not.
landscape with a
Yeah.
crater.
Yeah, what a crazy, like, I mean, have something that's that green, suggestive of, you know, like summer, be surrounded by,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like snow. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's a wild kind of juxtaposition of a lot of different elements, not only just the shapes, but the colors. And it's like perfect kind of abstraction, natural
Yeah,
abstraction.
and then clearly volcanic. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
fire,
Yeah.
ice, summer, like what, you know, it's just, you're not going to see that in many places.
No.
Definitely not Hawaii.
It's like it's receding. I like the kind of when it comes down, it's clean on the top edge. When you get down, everything kind of ties together with the bottom, how it kind of swirls through at the bottom.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's some kind of delta at the bottom.
Yeah, and the dimensionality is crazy how it just like feels like it's rising out of the page. Like everything is completely flat, and then it's like
Yeah, it
really
feels embossed.
It's got just enough light on it to give it that dimensionality. It's great.
I just like that it looks like a pterodactyl head or something like that.
Yeah.
dinosaurs are cool.
Dinosaurs are cool. Fuck you.
I why fuck me? I just said they're cool. I wasn't being sarcastic.
Not yet.
That was awesome.
Jesus.
Tough crap.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
crazy. But the size of it, like you said, Mike, like the scale of that is just enormous too. 'Cause looking
Yeah,
at the
gotta be.
finer features of that ice field on the right is just
What a landscape. I feel like there's a ton of photo options just within that one scene that you could
Yeah.
explore.
Yeah.
I feel like Hans would have gone out of his mind on this one too.
I think the water looks like really silvery. It's probably like overcast, so it's not just like reflecting a gray sky. Because you can tell the light is pretty diffused. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there is like a pretty strong shadow on that right side of the green stuff, near the right edge. But yeah, it looks like mercury or something.
I was thinking it was just a clear day. Bright blue, clear day.
Yeah, so it's not showing the colors; it's washing it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that's been pushed.
Yeah, maybe desaturated slightly to draw more emphasis on the.
Yeah,
Like-
pretty hard shadow on the right.
Yeah, it could be like middle of the day because like it looks like the shadow's coming straight down. It's not very long
Yeah.
because everything else is like really evenly lit.
And because of that, it's hard to tell how much relief there is topographically, which is super cool.
Yeah, kind of disorienting. This one's super cool, and I was like,
Love that.
when I first saw it, my brain said Patagonia because it's like such similar layout to a lot of the glacial valleys there with like Fitzroy and stuff. But then when I saw the peaks, I was like, yeah, I have no idea where this is.
Yeah, and
Some kind of fjords in the world, but
I'm pretty sure it's China.
okay.
Yeah, so this photographer, I think, is from Vietnam. And they have a very small collection of photos from China. And anyways, that's alpenglow. That's pure like that's
Yeah.
atmospheric light getting bounced back down onto the mountain with the stars above, and then you have that frosted tree that's perfectly framed with the river on the right, and then the fall color that's really subtle in the back, and the placement of that tree I feel like is, you know, it's I don't know, it's perfect. Like I like this photo a lot,
It's
and
like-
I'm super jealous that I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super super clean.
Yeah, it's like flawless grand landscape.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I want to see entered into NLPA for grand landscapes. Like shit you've never seen before that's super well processed and crazy light.
I love the stars too. You know, that just kind of
Yep.
Nice touch.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming there's a lot of these scenes in China that a lot of people haven't seen. That's probably one of those countries that because it's so big, there's pretty hard to get to.
Yep.
Must be like the Himalayas. Like,
Yeah, I think I sent you a link to their website, Eric. So you could probably dig into it more, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Himalayas.
it's crazy. And it's a nice example of like not needing crazy light or anything. You know, just that soft, warm light on the mountains is enough to separate them from the rest of the scene and draw the attention in the right way, and doesn't have like stormy sky or super dramatic lighting or anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those scenes where like a lot of photographers would show up here before sunset. No clouds, so they're like, "Oh, this sucks. I'm gonna go back." Or like the sunset's done hitting the mountain. They're like, "Oh, the light's done." And it's like, no, you need to wait like 20 minutes for blue hour. Let that that alpenglow hit the peaks, and when it does, it's sick.
Well, and this peak is probably like 17,000 feet tall at least or something. So like
Right.
you like typically I would think that the stars were blended in, but in this case, like the mountains are tall enough they could get light that late in the evening.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's possible it could be a slight blend, but I don't know. It looks really clean.
Yeah, regardless, it's awesome. But
Is that fall color underneath, or like?
Yeah.
So I could also see like people going there and the fall color being kind of the feature, but in this case they decided to, and I think it was a good decision to like feature the peak with that alpenglow.
and the one like bear tree
Yeah. Like I'm thinking
that
to
of
myself,
foliage.
I would see that tree and I'd be like, that tree is really cool, but it's in the way. Like, you know, of all this really beautiful fall color, I need to get around the tree. But I'm glad they included it.
Yeah, it's super nice. Those are probably like some kind of Fagus tree. Kind of like in Patagonia, you have the Lenga trees, which are part of the Fagus family. It's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I met this guy, I believe it's Matthew Gillison. I met him, he's from Netherlands, but I met him, Arald and Sten introduced me to him. He was up there photographing Hokkaido, and we ran into him, and I took a dive through some of his work, and it's got some pretty amazing stuff. But this one, I mean, he said it's from Iceland, but it could be anywhere, really. Just the layers inside it, color, that one little bit of light touching that one little peak there. Just an amazing piece.
Yeah, that thing where the light is hitting. It's such a strong visual element. It really
Right.
kind of gives a lot of weight to the scene, because I think, without that there, maybe it'd be cool, kind of like in an abstract way, but that really gives weight to the photograph. And then of course, the way it's lit, whether that was processing or was actually lit that way, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't really matter. It's well seen, well done.
Got
Yeah.
cool like shapes to it, the diagonals. The light hitting those, like the group of the rocks, kind of balances out that main lit piece. It's got a lot going on. It's really cool. Good color separation.
Yeah, I was talking to him. I guess he says he's got a couple art degrees. I think he's an older gentleman, maybe retired now, and he's comes over to Japan, I think, almost every year and spends a couple of weeks. I think he travels all over the world, really. Super.
Yeah, the flow is super nice here from the front to the back, and then how the background kind of leads you back in with the diagonals coming down from the right hand corner. It's a subtle scene, but
Yeah.
It's hard to get a sense of the orientation. Like
Oh, no.
like it feels almost like I'm looking down, but also I could be looking across. Like I like that ambiguity of like, am I like, where's the gravity here? You know?
Yeah.
yeah, it almost feels like he's like down inside of a crater or something.
It's super cool. Great vision.
Yeah, it looks like it's like diffused light too, so there's nice like subtle burning here to direct the attention in the right spots and help with the visual flow.
Japanese photographer Kazuho Katahira. He's from Nagano. I just came across his work. I was actually looking for a place in it's a pretty popular area this time of year in Niigata Prefecture, which is right next to Nagano. We drove through it, Eric. But
Yeah, of
there's
course we
these,
just drove through it, didn't stop or anything and shoot stuff like this.
He's got to keep
Well, you
some
wouldn't-
stuff to himself.
again, we would not have been able to get there.
Must have been when you roofied me.
Yeah. It's debatable on who was roofied. So anyways, this is I'm pretty sure this was taken in Niigata. I was researching an area that has a lot of beech trees this time of year where the snow is still on the ground and the leaves are already started turning color back to the green. And what's pretty unique here is where the beech trees warm up, they'll kind of melt the snow away from the trunks. But in this case, what it does is that snow as it's melting causes that fog throughout the beech forest.
I didn't realize there was snow on the ground. I just thought it was like super dense fog.
Yeah. So what's unique about that is most people go there and shoot the circles around the tree, which is cool in itself because the snow will all be there, but just around the base of all these beech trees that are spaced out.
Yeah,
and you can
because the
see
trees are
pretty-
slightly warmer and they melted off.
Yeah.
But the leaves are like green here. That's why I wasn't suspecting snow.
Yeah. That's what's crazy about this area this time of year. I was just up there last weekend.
Oh, so it's spring. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
some
there's
thick
still a lot
snow
of
for
snow.
spring.
So Japan gets a lot of snow, especially in Niigata. I think they got record. I was talking to a few locals there this weekend. It says it's the most snow they've gotten in 20 years. So that's perfect for this conditions this year, which is why I was up there. And I came across his work, researching that area, trying to figure out where to go. And he's got some crazy stuff from this area.
I'll have to check it out. I hadn't heard of him before. Is he on Instagram?
Yes.
I'm looking him up right now.
What'd you crack open there,
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy?
Oh, this is good stuff. It's, let's see, Equilibrium, Life After Death Star. It's the one that we got back in December,
Yeah,
I think is when
I
we
still
got it.
have that in my fridge. Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god. I think it's their best batch in a while. So it's gosh, what are we dealing with? So it's Imperial Stout brewed with Moster Ghost Bear, Espresso Blend, Madagascar Vanilla, Raw Coconut Marshmallow, and Lactose. And it's
Even the coffee they put in it's good.
too good to share.
Yeah, I know. I love that coffee.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
Or maybe I did drink that one a couple weeks. We drank quite a few of my stouts. It's hard to remember all of them.
Yeah, I think it's better than the batch before it.
Yeah, I think we did drink it, and it was the marshmallow was a lot more forward this time,
Yeah, it's sweet.
and yeah, it was really smooth.
It's really a lot of chocolate notes in there too. It's kinda cool.
Yeah, it was
No,
nice.
I grew up in New Jersey, and this scene reminds me a lot of New Jersey. I get this quite a bit.
Really? In New Jersey?
No, I'm messing with- not at all.
Jimmy needs to work on his delivery, but I knew he was joking because that's a running gag.
Got it. I was like, oh, I know where my next workshop's going to be.
Right. Hoboken. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Going to the Garden State, baby.
Doesn't New Jersey have like more black bears than any other state though, or something?
It could. It's got quite a bit.
Per square mile or something.
Yeah, some kind of
I
ratio.
think I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really population dense. But the southern half of the state is pretty cool because it's a lot of pine barrens, which you don't see many It's not much photography from down there, but you just cut the state in half, and the southern half pretty much is pretty dry. It's kind of bizarre landscape, but we don't see this there for sure.
This is sick find, Mark. I love the reseeding light. Really tastefully processed too.
Yeah,
For sure.
he's got some really good stuff from this area. It's pretty cool. I mean, we'll go there, Eric, when you come. There's one
better.
area we can get to in the winter, yeah. But there's stuff from the autumn.
Well, I'm coming out in the fall, so you can't use that excuse again.
Well,
You
I
gotta bring
autumn's
your-
just good.
Bring your fog machine this time, Eric. Maybe he'll let you out of the car.
Hopefully, you don't need it.
Always good to have as backup.
Yeah.
This one's super nice.
I almost picked this one. That's crazy.
Did you? Yeah. So this is one I sent in. Misaki Nagao? I got that correct.
I met him while I was over there.
Eric
Cool.
goes on.
It's just eternal spring. It absolutely screams spring, and I just love the composition of it that he pulled off. Just really almost very impressionistic vibe to it with all the reflections that he's got going on.
I love that touch of light on the branches in the foreground, particularly the one in the lower right. The way that's kind of just subtly illuminated.
Yeah, and then you have like the flowers and then the reflection behind it, but it's like almost hard to tell like the difference between the two layers. Like they blend together so well. They have like similar texture to them, so it just feels like one like flat scene.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was all water.
Yeah, it almost feels like the flowers are connected to the branches that are in the reflection.
Perfect. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, without that light, it'd be something different. Is that cherry blossom?
It is.
Gotta be, right?
Okay,
It looks like it.
so nice.
It's called Sakura, Matt.
Red fern, not pain.
No, I think it's cherry blossom, not red fern.
It's probably. I mean, this is probably what's crazy about it. It's probably shot like on some mode on some city street. It could be anywhere. I'm guessing this is probably around a lot of the old castle runs. Will have these moats around it with the cherry trees around the moat.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty popular to find where you'll have these overhanging cherry blossoms, because it's hard to find cherry blossoms actually in the wild here. You'd think they'd be everywhere in Japan, but they're mostly situated in like city areas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very location dependent. It's just more about the subject matter, the way
Yeah.
it's portrayed.
It's definitely blended really well. Like you guys said, it's tied. The tree and the reflections are just tied really nicely. It's not super obvious.
Yeah, this photographer has 2 images in last year's NLPA book.
Hopefully more in the 2025 book.
They have really strong work.
He's really good friends with Sho. They're in the same little group.
One of these years, we're just gonna have to do a Japanese NLPA edition.
It's crazy. I mean, I keep finding them just like the previous photographer.
I saw a funny meme. I think it must have been on Instagram, someone's stories, but it was like another Japanese landscape photographer dropped a new release today, and it was like people running down the street to look at it.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome to see.
Yep.
Very impressive stuff.
I mean, there's just tons of them.
Yeah, I don't even know if I should bother releasing my stuff that I photographed over there.
Probably not.
Damn it, I was fishing for compliments.
Maybe if
You
there's
know
We
that
haven't-
shit gonna happen.
We haven't seen it yet. We don't know if it's good.
food images, maybe something.
I have a standard to uphold.
Yeah, that's why you're not going to release any of it. That was a compliment.
Thanks.
Sounds just like it.
I don't know why it doesn't feel like a compliment, but I'll take your word.
It's because you're picking on dinosaurs.
All right. Ram Fujimoto. She Japanese photographer. However, she lives in the Bay Area now. I think she's lived there for a year and a half, maybe. I think I told you about her, Eric, when you were here. She's always been great. I mean, I've met her, I think, twice while she was here before she left, and now she's in the U.S. doing stuff like this. So I mean, it's pretty indicative of the quality photographers over here that you just don't know about. And the good thing about their work is, I mean, obviously with her, it travels. So, I mean, she's able to go new places and kind of, but then she's releasing stuff from the US now.
Yeah, her stuff's amazing. Instagram is loaded.
Killer.
Yeah, this one's super nice. I love how she handled the soft light in this one,
Yeah.
because there's like nice
Light is
separation,
amazing.
but very low contrast or soft contrast.
It just pulls you through the scene and it feels really natural.
What I was gonna say is, ever since I don't know, like 2016, we saw a huge explosion of photos from this area, and they all felt kind of derivative of David Thompson. And this is one of the first swamp images I've seen where I'm like, oh, this feels a little bit different than what I've seen other people put out, which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. Joe Roshback has some nice stuff, and Alex Noriega shot some pretty different stuff. There's a few photos from here, but yeah, a lot of it just felt very similar.
Right.
Yeah. Each year.
Well, I think she used the trees and the spacing and the light to really create a ton of depth. And I think the tendency is for a lot of photographers there, because the trees are so unique, to just focus on the trees. And so you get these, I mean, still really nice images, but they're kind of two-dimensional. I think she did a really, really good job of using the landscape, not just to focus on the trees, still have them be the subject, but really add the depth to it.
Yeah.
It's really, really well done.
Yeah, I agree.
Not having been down there, I suspect that could be kind of hard because it is so chaotic and dense. But
Yeah.
to get a sense of depth is possibly just a guess, but
I mean, it's a lot of 70 to 200 type stuff down there where you isolate things. And to be fair, I feel like the conditions like this are relatively uncommon. Like, it can be pretty bad in terms of like the color can be off, or there's not diffuse light like this. So, you know, there's a lot of things that have to line up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love that stick.
I was
Leaning
just
up against
thinking
the-
that.
Like that's just like a nice little bonus
Yeah.
find there. That stick in the middle of that tree.
I was just thinking that. The reflections are really pristine too. That's another thing I just kind of started diving into a little bit as I've been
Yeah,
staring
it's
at
like
this.
glass.
Yeah, it's
Very nice. There's a lot to like here.
There really is. Very impressive image.
It's one of those scenes where the more you spend time with it, the more you start to like it, which is
Yeah.
good quality.
Yeah,
sure.
that's a sign of a good image.
Yeah.
so has she been sharing images from the West Coast a lot, or is she getting around a bit, or
Getting around a little bit. I was just scrolling through her Instagram. She got all that stuff from Arizona. Looks like Yosemite.
I think a tendency, I mean, I'm not trying to lump all Japanese, but tendency to be a little timid first to get out and explore. I mean, I'm guessing, you know, being a new country, but as she started to get comfortable in the US, I see her starting to, I mean, I've talked to her about it. She's starting to branch out and see more of the US, but this was one of the first trips she took further away from the Bay Area, about as far as you get.
well, if you chat with her, just mention New Jersey and it'll be sick.
Dude, what the
The hot spot. What?
She's got this crazy ass image of this spire on her Instagram from August of 2024. She's got an amazing photo of Factory Butte, which is very unique too. Yeah. Bit of drone work, but still really good stuff.
She ran around a lot with Kokidote and his little crew. I know they're all friends. Hoshino and all of them, they all know each other. That's what I think's neat, is seeing a lot of these Japanese photographers, to see one finally that you know, one, especially one I know, that to go over to the US and see how they interpret, you know, our landscape and see things.
Yeah, I'm
That's why I'm
curious to
excited.
see what show does next year when you guys come over.
That's- Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
When are you guys coming over?
March.
You going to Utah?
Yeah.
Well, fuck me.
We can.
Just like last time?
Be ready.
Yep.
So I follow this guy on Instagram. He does a lot of stuff in the West Coast, And I spent some time on their website yesterday, just kind of looking through it and appreciate it. I was actually trying to find this other photo they have from this kind of obscure wilderness area that I really liked. But I couldn't find it on their website. And I didn't want Eric to yell at me for just giving him an Instagram quality photo. So I wanted to find something else on the website that I liked. And I came across this really interesting snow photo with the tilted tree. I'm always a big fan of like, there's this one thing that's different from the rest, kind of an image. And I think it works really well here. I think the light's really nice, the receding light. And yeah, I think it's just super clean.
I like the spacing on, like, you got trunks, bare trunks on both sides of the frame, and then you got like trees with needles dispersed really well.
Great spacing.
Yeah.
Great atmosphere too.
I think the weight is nice on the because of those ones with the branches.
Yeah, I was drawn to that spacing as well. I think tendency for a lot of photographers to try to, like it gets really difficult to fit everything in the frame and not have it overlap. And they did a really nice job here of finding just the right spot to make sure everything had a spot to sit in.
I think what helps make this one work is the subtle opposing diagonal line right behind it, and like the ridge of the snow, like right through the middle of the scene. So it's like the tree's leaning to the left, but that line is like gesturing towards the right. So there's a nice counterbalance there. Doesn't feel like left heavy, like everything's pushing you to the left edge. Or it doesn't feel too jarring where like everything is straight and then one tree's crooked. It's like just enough to complement it.
Yeah. It's very subtle.
Yeah, it's got a good balance. It's got a story to it. Really, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like too is, that tree kind of can represent all kinds of interesting narratives as well in terms of like maybe it's dead and like it's the rest of them are kind of like living on, or maybe that's like the lone survivor. Like there's lots of concepts you can play with.
Yeah. Or like maybe it got hit by an avalanche or something and knocked it over because it's like the only tree in that area, so we can tell.
Well, and it looks dead too. So yeah, it could be like from a landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's oddly reaching. Like the branches are kind of reaching up, straight up again though, too. It's got some new growth.
I thought we were on brews and views. This is more like snooze and views. You guys haven't drank anything. Still on your first ones. I know, me and Jimmy are holding it down. Paul would be on number 7 right now if he was here. He'd be getting carried away in a stretcher right about now.
Yeah.
I'll get another one. I just didn't want to not be here when my image came up. So
Okay.
What percentage is everyone drinking right now?
Well, I'm at 10 right now, but
that's my cue.
it's my second one. Oh, Matt's trying to flex because Jimmy's drinking at least 12.
It's feeling like it.
Yeah, but yours was a triple.
Jesus Christ.
No, Jimmy's on a stout right now.
Oh, I could not drink a stout in this weather.
Well, that's what he's trying to get through him.
Yeah.
Save them.
Hit 70 degrees today. Finally.
That one's 11%. So Matt still is carrying the trophy. He's got the heavyweight belt.
Wait, you didn't crack another one, did you, Jimmy?
But no, I'm not doing 2 of these
Oh,
tonight.
yeah. It's a big guy.
That would be awesome.
He's saving the other bottle for tomorrow morning.
You need this
Typical
first drive.
morning.
Be on his nightstand with a nipple.
Ward off the shakes.
I didn't hear anything before that. That was amazing. On his nightstand with a nipple.
I actually traded up to an IV bag, but it's all right.
Yeah, good call. Let's mainline that shit. All right, Payne, what'd you pour before I get into this tasty image?
The Reverend from Avery. It's a 10% Belgian quad. They describe it as decadent, complex, and divine.
I think on your guest episode, you just drank like 4 of those. You didn't have like any variety. You just pounded through those.
Yeah, which is pretty
Typical.
normal for me. Yeah, I'm probably not going to make it to 50 years old, so.
Damn.
Wait, Is a Belgian quad also a double mash?
I've actually brewed a Belgian quad before, and no, it's just like a crazy, crazy, crazy amount of sugar. Like you add just insane amounts of like Belgian candy.
Oh, so you just put sugar in it instead of like the sugar from the grain?
You add
Like in
you do the
wort.
the boil, you do the wort, but then in the wort you also add
Straight
crazy
sugar.
yeah, just well it's like Belgian rock candy basically. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Are they
And then-
malty?
Oh, it's super malty.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, for that style, you want that like syrupy, sweet maltiness.
Yeah, it's like type 2 diabetes in a bottle.
Sign me up.
Cheers to 50.
Alright.
I'm actually not a huge fan of Belgians, but I haven't had a ton.
They're not yeah, they can be hit or miss. You know. But this
I know,
one
I know
like,
you love them, but
I do, but I've also had some bad ones. you
Yeah.
know? And yeah, it's the same with IPAs too. Like
oh, for
if you have
sure.
a bad IPA, it's like I don't want to drink another IPA for like a month.
Yeah, we don't drink bad ones anymore, but they're out there.
Went to a
Jesus.
concert a few years ago, and they were pouring a lot of Belgian ales, and I didn't realize how strong they were. And it was a mess. It was a really rough night. They went
You
down
guys-
really smooth.
Jimmy, you guys have a great brewery in New York that brews a lot of really good Belgians. They brew Three Philosophers.
Yeah, Omegang.
Yeah, oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I was, and it was it was an outdoor concert, and I was deep. It was bad.
No, their Belgians are super good.
Yeah, they're really tasty.
Oh, they're amazing. And they're super drinkable. Like you just crush it, and you're like, oh, I'll just have another one. And then like 2 hours later, you're like, oh my god, I'm destroyed.
That's pretty much the night. Yeah, that's about it. Haven't come back since.
What's his name?
Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure this is the last image. Robert Glenn Ketchum, super sick. Probably like Alaska, I think. But yeah, I just love like the dappled light here and the water breaking up the foreground and really nice, just repeating diagonal layers and everything in the landscape. Just a really nice, classy telephoto, grand landscape type scene. You don't see all too often.
That's a relatively old photo too, right?
Yeah, I think so. I was just about to look it up because it was just saved in my bookmark stuff.
A lot. It looks like most of it's like old, like large format type.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like it. It's got that feel to it. I don't know what it is, but great dappled light. The shape of the water in the foreground, like it's kind of this somewhat repeating color pattern. A little bit of like orange, then the blue, then orange and red again, and then blue up in the mountains in the background.
Yeah, and those like back two layers where like the partially snowy mountains meet the like tundra that's illuminated by the sunlight. Like that's such a tasty little section of the scene.
Yeah.
Like the layers are like alternating in warm, cool
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue in the foreground ties in that top background layer really well.
Eric, did you mention where this is, or where you thought it might be, or?
I just pulled it from the Spank Bank.
Gotta
remember.
Alaska.
Looks like Alaska.
Chugach Mountains, yeah, Alaska.
Oh, you found him on Instagram?
Yeah.
For some reason I looked him up and I couldn't find him.
A lot of stuff on their website.
Oh yeah, there it is. Robert Ketchum. Yeah, it looks like all his work is film. Says something about a pebble mine too. So he was like advocating against doing a pebble mine there, I guess, which I always respect. Fuck pebble mines,
What's a pebble mine?
Yeah,
I don't
was
know.
gonna-
but sounds destructive.
I don't know. I've seen those like hats and stuff, like pebble mine with a slash to it. I've never bothered to look up what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all of his like Chugach mountain photos say no pebble mine. Yeah, there's a whole series.
Kind of makes you wonder. Alright, I'll Google it. Fuck is.
He has a really sick aerial too, like his first image on his IG page.
Pebble Mine is one of the world's largest undeveloped mineral resources containing significant deposits of copper, gold, and other minerals.
Oh, it's like a spot. For some reason, I was thinking it was like a general term.
Oh, the place is called Pebble Mine.
It says located in southwestern Alaska within the Bristol Bay watershed. So maybe, I don't know. This is AI's response. So on Google,
Could be tricking you.
That's almost never fucking accurate. It's like
But it
Eric
does seem-
Bennett is a female photographer who's 75 years old that lives in Colorado.
That information's out there. I've been working
Trying to
hard to
repress
keep
that.
that in the dark. Yeah. Alrighty then. Good stuff tonight.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you guys. Yeah. What do you mean that's it? That was like 18 images, I think.
18 images.
Quite the low.
I just feel like we got through them at a nice pace,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
despite
good
your
pace.
long, awkward pauses.
Pour mine. I'm supposed to fill in the gaps
No, you just
Yep.
had some long, awkward pauses.
because of shit I was saying that was cringy.
Cringy.
Not too bad.
Well, then cringe.
I think you
You
were
can
just
just
waiting
fill it
for
in
someone
with
else to
words.
talk.
Fill it in with Paul clips.
Sorry, Matt. I'm
Yeah,
not a
dub in some
professional
Paul.
podcast host. Try my best, but
You're fine.
yeah, good pace with the image, but poor drinking pace. I expected more of you guys.
Like I
Yeah.
said, it's early for me.
For
You
real.
have to watch
I gotta
out.
have, it's 8 in the morning over here. You gotta get
Matt Payne will be FaceTiming us at like 2 a.m. Everyone's gonna hear from me tonight
That's great.
after the 7th Reverend.
We just want to know about your new girlfriend.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Didn't even know you had one. Thanks, pal.
I thought
Have
I
you not been
told-
following his Instagram?
It's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
out of control.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago not to follow Eric on Instagram. It's can be pretty dirty,
Do you have me like silenced or something?
of course.
Mute.
I mean, ever since he started posting all those Japanese women from Tinder,
Mm.
it's like, why are you doing this?
So embarrassing.
All right. I need to cut this off.
Yeah. Yep.
I need to pull the plug.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me pull my photos up from this trip.
Yeah, right? You got some evidence.
All right, guys. Well, thank you.
Cool, man.
Cheers.
Cool.
Great
Awesome.
show.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Have a
Good
good rest of your
choices.
evening.
Stuff.
Yeah, great images. Thank you.
Down the hatch.